Baruch Hashem, good morning. Today is Chav Zayin Elul Shnas Hakel. We're continuing the 30th day of the Limud in the Hemshech of the Rebbe Rashab, Tafresh Samach Vov, starting Amud Nun Tes. Started right towards the end of Amud Nun Ches in the Maamar Lech Lecha. Viamer Hashem al Abraham Lech Lecha. So we finished the Maamar of Elul Tildes Noach yesterday, where we kind of finished the conversation how Ratzon of mitzvahs is at a different level of Ratzon of Brias Olam, because Ratzon of mitzvahs comes without any harkava. It's not murkav with anything. There's no reason behind it. It's a real idea of Oisner Tzenu Shel Moken. The Maamar Lech Lecha yesterday we started explaining the idea of less machshava tfisa beklal. Machshava cannot reach the Eibishter at all. We spoke about Yediyas Achiyov, positive understanding, Yediyas Ashlila, grasping something only by knowing what it's not. How Ein Sof is higher than an understanding of even that, and that's the idea of machshava, less machshava, any level of machshava, even the highest ones, is less machshava tfisa beklal, and the Eibishter, even the Ofen of Yediyas Ashlila. Now, from Yediyas Hashlila, you could get not just understanding, you could get not only to the understanding what it's not, you could sometimes get some sort of a, as he says, the Lashon, Eichus ve'oifen ha'aflaga, you get the quality and the type of it, of the greatness, and sometimes, Achiyach Elias Tasakara, there could be some sort of an understanding or a recognition in what it is, which all of this does not exist by Atmos. The big question now is, what's pshat of Ru'usa de Liba, which the Zohar continues, Nitpas Iyu, the Eibishter Atmos could be reached through Ru'usa de Liba. What's the Mila in Ru'usa de Liba? What is it that Nitpas Iyu, the Eibishter could be grasped with it, something which cannot be done through Machshava? It's known, the Bichlolus Inyan Ava Yesh Beis Madregas. There's two types of madregas in the idea of ava. There's b'chinas ava pnimis, inner ava, ava chitzonis. Ava chitzonis, external ava, yava shenil kamin adas v'asaga. It's love which comes from grasping and understanding, comes from knowledge. V'hainu adei asaga v'tzben nesalakus, from contemplating and understanding godliness. Shemizen el da ava, this is what gives birth to the ava. V'yesh b'zeh kamei efani izbainus, there's many different ways of contemplation. Im shemizbainen you look at the Eibishter's greatness. What's the greatness of the Eibishter? How the greatness of the Eibishter spreads in the world. How the Eibishter keeps alive many, many worlds and many, many creations. Hashem, how many are your doings, Hashem? How great are your doings, Hashem? There are large creations. And many creations many ad ein kates with Shiur klal till no limit at all. Nikar godless avaya. Through this you could recognize and see native nikar the greatness of the Eibishter. Kamaimer, as we say, v'agdula zamai sebereshis. It says in the v'agdula l'cha Hashem agdula v'agevura. The word agdula goes on my sebereshis. It says in the pasuk, the Eibishter is great and praised in the city of God. When is he great? When he's in the city of God. What's the idea of Ir Lekeinu? What's the city of God? Olam HaDibur, the world of Dibur. Hamahava Olamas, which creates world. Only through the worlds that are being created, Nikar Gedula Savayu, we recognize the greatness of the Eibishter. So again, Gedula there's a contemplation on how great the Eibishter is through seeing how many Nevrayim he did. It says the heavens, they tell a story of the greatness of the glory of God. Mashal Gibar, it's a mashal for a strong man. Shenichnas leMedina, he went into a country. Nobody knew that he's strong. There was one smart man that said, Amar, from the rocks that he's bumping into, we know how great he is. Because when he was bumping into the rocks, they were kind of falling apart and breaking. So they knew, or they were being affected by his strength. So they knew how strong it is. Kach Hashamayim, the heavens, Mesapim Foit Kel, they tell the story of the glory of the Eibishter, because that's like the Eibishter, Kiviyachal bumping into the stones. We see the greatness of the Eibishter through the effects that he does on the world, or simply through creating the world. This is a simple contemplation. Through this simple contemplation in the greatness of the Eibishter, your soul becomes excited about Godliness. So you now want to go Rotza, you want to become connecting to the Eibishter, you go rushing back to the Eibishter. How much more so when you start contemplating how all this doing is only from the Eibishter's words and the breath of his mouth. Blessed is he who said and made the world with one saying, all the worlds created. So that's one deeper contemplation. Or you contemplate the etzema in the actual concept. In every single thing you see, there's a strength of God, a koyach of God, that is keeping it alive. Nothing does itself. Nothing lives on its own. As we see in other places, the details about this. To the depth of the knowledge in this, Nasi Yakar Etzle becomes precious by you, the light and the God and the life of the God of godliness. You wake up, Shakol Chafter, the entire will. Should be in godly things, because the Eibishter is so great. Kol Zed, this is still his Bainanu, his Bara Elikis and Mislabash is Bailis. We're still all being misbained in the Ar Elikis, which is in the Elimas. But when you start contemplating the worlds, which is higher than Elimas, how this is totally removed from the world and wondrous to the world, the Klolos are Vachayus Elikiam Mislabash Bailis. Because the general light and life of God, which comes into the world, even in the highest worlds, who are levad, it's only a shine from the Eibishter. The essence of the Eibishter, who mufla is wondrous, umuvdal and separated me'olamas, umasig b'zeichus v'if nafla, and now you understand how great this wonder would be, because anything you see or anything you could relate to is only a hara. Obviously, Atzmos is much higher. Through this contemplation and understanding, that there's a Or Ein Sof L'mayla, which is wondrous and higher than worlds, something that you cannot grasp and not understand. Bali de Avarabba, you come to this Avarabba Sheyachmis Ba'atzmos Or Ein Sof. You now, your will is to become connected with the Atzmos, or you want to have a feel of what Atzmos Or Ein Sof is. Like it says in Tehillim, Mili Bashamayim, who is with me in the heavens, and with you I do not want anything in the land. You don't want any revelations, you don't want Shamayim, you don't want Aretz. Your ultimate will and want, it's only the essence of the Eibishter. So basically discussing different isbaininus, that how you get to Ava Chitzonis, right? We started saying there's Ava Pnimis and Ava Chitzonis. Ava Chitzonis comes from contemplation and understanding. This is all different levels. We're traveling up the ladder. We're going different levels, higher and deeper levels of the herring and the kos, and relating to the Eibishter, but all still in the realm of Ava Chitzonis. Right? Closest by Elu, the general contemplation, same with Tefillah. So when you daven, the Psukkah de Zimra, when you say Psukkah de Zimra, is Baina Nusib Gdula Savaya. The contemplation is in the greatness of the Eibishter. In the creation of the world, like we just said, right? With one saying, Baruch Sha'amar V'Haya Olam, everything was created. When you get to the Birchas Krishma, being in Kaddish, you contemplate about the holiness. Kaddish are separated from the world. You're starting to go a little bit outside of the illness. The main contemplation is in Atzmos. Shema Lashon Havana, you should understand. Ushma in Shem Ayin, you should understand this Shem Ayin. V'hainu, what's the idea of Shem Ayin? Kashem, Kemoy, Shebchinas Malchus. Oila. B'zayin Tachtonis the Bina. Same way the level of Malchus comes out in the 7 lower Madregas and Bina. How Chachma shines itself in the Malchus of Chachma shines itself in the 7 levels of Bina, Shuin and Ayin Abasi. This refers to the large 70, which again, Zayin Tachtonis, 7 Midas. Sorry, the 6 Midas and Malchus, I'm assuming. Zayin Tachtonis. Yeah, 7 Midas. So they're comprised of 10 spheres each, which makes it Ayin 70, Ayin Abasi. So Shema refers to this Shem Ayin, the Uraliki, which is Nimshach into Bina, which is again from Malchus to Atzilos. Yadua, the Chachma Bina, Bitl Yichudei La. The Chachma Bina both have the Bitl of Yichudei La, their nullification of the Eibishter on a high connection. Through an understanding how everything is nothing before the Eibishter. Moichin, the idea of Chachma, Bina, and Das, these levels of Moichin are higher than worlds. And B'meila, your contemplation through Shema is in the which is higher than Olamas. And we know about Alpayim Shana Kadma that the Moichin, the Torah, the Moichin come before the Olamas. In this level of Shema, or this level of Yichud, Chachma and Bina, the levels of Malchus going into Zayin Tachtonis to Bina, it's a higher connection. Why? Because there's no us. There's only Yichudei La. It's the idea of the Eibishter being everything. The Zohar Hefresh, this is the difference between Shema, Lebaruch Shem, Kven Malchus, Le'olam Vayt. Shehu b'vchinas Malchus. The Baruch Shem is Malchus. Its entire thing is Yichud Tata. Liyeski Malchus Makar Kol Olam. Its Malchus is the source of the worlds. So now, when there's a bittul happening in Malchus, it's a bittul of Yichud Tata, because there's already a shaychus of the Olamas. If you have Shalom Rabbi Zeh She'ena Olamas Tifsim Makim Klal, you could not say that the Olamas aren't Tifsim Makim at all. You can't say that about Malchus. What is it creating? If you're creating something, you may be removed from it, but there's a shaychus to it, right? Only that they're bitl yesh. This level of Yichudei La, this level of Chachma going into Zayin Tachtonis to Bina. Olamas inim tifsim makim klal, they're not tifsim makim at all. Hainush inim v'chis mitzvahs klal, they're not in existence at all. There's no problem to do. You don't have a bitl yesh anymore, right? It's a bitl mitzvahs type of thing. V'inenu kini erin tzef shalom alamas and gam kin meira alamas. This light of the Eibishter, that's higher than Olamas, it still comes in the world. On this level which comes into the world, the Tzimtzum never touched it, never hiding. And for this level, the Olamas are totally bottled, because it comes into the world the way it was before the Tzimtzum. The Olamas are like nothing there. There's no shaychus b'chlal. But for the level of light, which becomes a source for the world is a mitzias. They're bottled in bitla yesh because this is still a ma'ilama elements, but it's a makar upon him, right? V'zel Shema Yisrael. This is the contemplation you do by Shema Yisrael. B'chinas Yichudei La, you do this level of Yichudei La that you want to likol b'yichudei, you want to become one with the Eibishter. Here you're already step lower. Here you're already contemplating how everything has a erliki, but it's chayes. But basically, we went to Pesukei de Zimra, which that is for sure is benenus and gadlus Hashem through Olamas. Then you have Shema, Shem Ayin, which is Yichudei La, because you're looking at earths which are not shaykh to Olamas. And then Baruch Shem, you're already coming into Yichud Tata. These are earths which are makar to Olamas. And this all creates this level of ava. Close all of this, like we said, are all levels of chitzenius alef. Chitzenius is an external love. It comes from grasping and contemplation. You do not get the atzmos, the essence of the actual etzem of the Eibishter. You only get a mitzius, an external creation, kiviyachol, or not an external creation, or the being, mitzios, the being of the Eibishter Levad, but not the Atzmos. So like kind of a ha'ara, that's what we're saying, that it's always a ha'ara from the early key. Aval pnimis ibchines pnimis alev. Inner love is the inner of the heart. Shloi tav mitzbon nasasechel will not come from contemplating the mind. Eloi ba milamayla masechel comes higher than the sechel. V'hi anikar le'usa d'liba. It's called the will of the heart. Sheba v'al yada, through it yesh b'chinas tfisa. There's grasp gam b'chinas atzmos. K'mashediktek ba'amrei. As the Zohar was careful or precise when it said. Dafka leis machshava tfisabe. Machshava dafka. Only machshava cannot grasp the Eibishter. Machshava are all these levels we mentioned up till now. Usa the liba, the ratzon of the heart, nitpas b'chinas atzmos, we could grasp the level of atzmos. V'inyan, the idea is, Tini pnimis halev, I know skashis b'chinas pnimis atzmos, shabam b'chinas yichida shebenefesh dafka. The inner level of the heart is connecting at a level of yichida shebenefesh. Well, for example, is kashus abenim ma'av, a son connecting with the father. She'ein al pitam v'das klal. It's not according to rhyme and reason or knowledge. El rak mitzat shenim shchanef shaben mina'av, since the soul of the son came from the father. B'chinas atzmos mamash, from his atzmos itself, from the father itself. And nechshav kamoy mamash, and you're like him one. Kinin bra kara davua. The son is like the knee or the heel of the father. Umemela kara is the lapse, I think. Yeah. Umemela his kashas ibatzmos avdaf, because your connection is the atzmos. Ve'ena de lavas oyev va'ov. It's not like a lover and a loving each other. Hagam shiachal liyas bezet toikif av v'toikif his kashas. Even though when two people love each other, you could have extremely strong love and extremely strong connection. Mit avek leg, with putting yourself aside totally. Yesh bezet is a sibais el av v'his kashas. There's a reason why you love and why you want to connect. Either because he's doing good to you, or because he's a great person, and because of this you love him and connect to him. There has to be a contemplation and an understanding of the mind. How is he so good? How he does good with him with his kindness. So, because you need to understand that in order to develop the love. Or you understand in your seichel the greatness of this other person. When you understand the idea of the greatness, you become connected to him, and given over to him, and you become totally given over. It's only when you understand the greatness. Without this understanding, you're not going to be connected to him. So the love now can only reach the external part, the revelation of the person you're loving. Not his essence alone, because there's a reason here. The only reason you love him is because of Meitim, because of Chasna, because of Eloi. That's not his etzem. That's only an external factor of him. Of the goodness of his midos, or his seichel, or his greatness. Hare Mimela, he is kashus. Your connection to him is also only in this. Not in his actual atmos. The other hand, the father loving his son, it's not because of the goodness, because of the greatness, or because of its elevation, not because of what you give him, because you're one. You do not need any contemplation. There's no reason to the love and the connection that you have to look, contemplate. It's only because of the etzem. And therefore your connection to your father, a son to a father, the connection is in Atzmos itself, in himself. On the one hand, it's to the Atzmos, and on the other hand, On the other hand, he betmidas ba'abein, it's always by the son. Sometimes it's concealed. You have to awaken it to reveal it. If you realize it's your father, or sometimes when you're far away, you realize, I'm far from my father, you awaken your love to your father. You do not need to have an individual contemplation. You don't have to find the reason why to love, you just have to find an opportunity to awaken the love. But the love is always there. We see a son can awaken the essence of the father. Other people cannot do it so much. When a son yells, "Father," it moves the father in his entire being. Someone else yelling "Father" to some random person won't necessarily awaken it like that. You may awaken you, may move you. It won't move you like the sun. A son calling out is from his essence. It's from his etzem. So it reaches the essence of the father. That's because they are connected at their etzem level. So too we can understand the souls of the Yidden connecting with the Eibishter, which we are the Eibishter sons. We are God's firstborn son. It says it's a deep essence connection at the essence to the Eibishter. So that every single nefesh elikis has in its nature to connect in its source of its creator. There's no reason since we are one etzem, and that is again the difference between Ava Pnimis and Ava Chitzenis. There's no reason to it. It's just a connection like a father and a son, because it's etzem. This connection, it's constant, but like by a son, sometimes have to awaken it. We realize that the Eibishter is our father. Or when you realize your distance. From the depths you call out, from the narrowness you call out. In the times of Mitzrayim, they didn't krechtzt. They moaned from the work, and they called out, calling out, you are our father. And that creates this bond, this connection. You feel a vert in der hert. It's understood at a deeper level. This idea that you are our father. And it awakens this inner deep connection. And this connection connects directly up to Atzmos. Like a son awakening his father. Through their connection at their essence, they grasp the level of Atzmos. And this again comes to answer. It's only the revelations. It doesn't have this idea of Atzmos. Which this is this awakening of like a father and a son. Since Rusa the Liba comes from Yechida, which is the Etzem, and it's like the Etzem of the son. So it's already kind of hooked up or connected with this level of Atzmos. Through this level, we could connect through Atzmos. Continue this discussion of Rusa the Liba tomorrow in Mirza Hashem. A guten Tag.